Good morning, Manila. As you can see, we have another episode with In Love with Me. And today I have an international speaker, number one Amazon best-selling author, success coach, and a TEDx speaker. And he's also a good friend. And I am so happy and excited to share him with you today. So welcome, Romeo. Hi. Thanks for being with me.
Hey, what up? What up? What up? What's up, Mafae?
I know it's evening there, so good evening to you. And
good morning to you. Is it morning?
Yeah, it is. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning in Manila. And it's so awesome that you have time to share a few inspiring stories, motivation words to my students this morning, as well as people who need a boost of energy. Because you're one of the people that I know that just has 101% energy daily. And it's
Let's
your
go.
time to tell us how.
And it's your time.
And that's his tagline, guys. It's time. It's time to get up, and I'm going to allow Romeo to talk about all his amazing success stories. To start off, Romeo, please share with us, how did you start wanting or being an international speaker?
Well, for me, it started from the arts, performing. I was a break dancer as a kid, and then I got into sports. And then I went to UCLA to study acting, and I had all this energy within me that I wanted to project out there into the world. But while in LA, while I was doing my thing there, I felt that auditioning for different roles, I felt there was a bigger purpose. Like I had a greater purpose. And mind you, at 18 years old, I started reading personal development books.
Wow.
And that derived from my sister giving it to me because she thought I was going to get into this whole gangster route, right? And so it was a way for her to make sure I had my mind right. And so I would read book after book after book. Fast forward, I ended up, opening up an acting school. I started teaching these success principles to students. And I was like, seeing these motivational speakers speak, I was like, I could do that. So it's one of those things when you see somebody doing what you do and go, you know what, I could do that. Put yourself in the environments so that you can do that. And so Jack Canfield has been a big mentor of mine and studied the business side of speaking. And that built a foundation of relationships. Yeah. And I started to discover new things about myself of what was possible, because as we know in life, we put a lot of limiting beliefs, or we cage ourselves up based on not just the limiting beliefs we have for ourselves, but the limiting beliefs that we think people are going to have on us.
Right.
And so being able to be in environments where I saw potential, where I saw possibilities, allowed me to take one stage at a time, take one audience in time, and grow and expand. And at the end of the day, what I find and found fulfilling in the process was service, being able to give, to be able to see the greatness in others, because a lot of people and mentors saw the greatness within me. And so my tagline, one of my taglines, other than it's time, is my passion is your potential, and my mission is to help you live it now.
Love it.
My passion is your potential, like living your greatness. When I see you do that, oh man, I'm living my purpose.
Yeah. You're one of the people that I really try to surround myself with, just like Kimmy Lou, and that's the reason why I wanted you to be part of this little campaign that I'm doing, most especially this challenging time. It's really perfect on the works that you're doing. There should be more people doing it. It's something that is such a big calling for an individual, and I know it takes a lot of energy, right? So I want to know, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know this too, is that where do you find your motivation? Because I know as humans, we do have those off days. We do have those moments that, oh my goodness, I'm about to get on stage or whatever. I'm about to have a big day and I don't have energy. How do you flip that around?
So fortunately in the personal development world, it's tools, right? Yeah. I've accessed and learned different things that I practice every single day that, trust me, during quarantine and days before this, And I'm sure after I feel off, like today, I didn't feel like working out. I could just chill. I don't feel like doing anything. But I knew that thinking does not serve me, right? Because when I don't feel good and I do something that makes me feel comfortable, I know I'm not growing. So Jack Canfield has a quote that says, you know, everything you want in life is just outside your comfort zone. So the more I was able to stretch outside my comfort zone, I am able to be stepping more into my greatness. Now, another thing that really motivates me is seeing people like you create. When I see other people create, when I see like what they're doing and they're living out their passion, something within me is ignited, right? Another thing that motivates me is gaining clarity of what I want. Like sometimes it's hard for me to move forward because I really don't know what I want. So a quick activity or exercise, if you're in a funk, you know, is to create a be, do, have list. Like, what are 10 things I want to be, 10 things I want to do, 10 things I want to have, right? I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a great dad. I want to be a great, you know, husband. I want to, so forth and so on. I want to have, you know, X amount of clients. I want to have X amount of income, so forth and so on. And so when I'm seeing this list of things that I want or be and have, now I have to think, what is the mindset? So one thing that me and my friend were having a conversation the other day about this was, you cannot have, you know, millionaire results with minimum wage actions and minimum wage thinking, right? So it's like, I want to be a millionaire, but I feel like chilling. Yeah. Right. So tap into the people that, well, for me, I tap into the people and be in their energy. Like there's that, you know, The Last Dance, Michael Jordan, right? Yeah. He's like living out his greatness. I'm like, what is the mentality and greatness that he sees within himself that even though he doesn't feel like it or project it out on days he doesn't want to do it, like what is the thinking? We have to break through that. So that's one of them.
Yeah.
Having an accountability partner. Right. So like checking in with maybe a friend or a colleague or a business partner once a week, once a month, every day, every other day. Like, for example, one of me and my accountability partners, we had 3 tasks that we had to do before our next call, right? And so we meet on a Wednesday, and then I don't connect with him until the following Wednesday. And I had my list of 3, and I didn't do my list of 3 until like the night before, right? Procrastination at its best. And if I didn't do the 3 things I promised, I would have to give him $100, right? But because it's not about the $100, it's about being able to do it no matter what, right? And so having an accountability partner is another thing that gets me out of my funk.
And what helps too, you have a beautiful wife who's supporting you, and I know you have somewhat encouraged her in also doing the same thing, you know, empowering women. And we're gonna hear about Jen tomorrow.
I'm so proud of her.
Thanks for watching all the shows, Jen. It's awesome. I can't wait to talk to you. But yeah, rewind again. You know, you said that you were a break dancer, you know, always started with music, I can see. And you're a great singer too. If nobody knows that, check out his Instagram. Romeo has it all.
I could lip sync. Not sing, but I lip sync.
But can you share with us like music? I know music is a big part of, let's say maybe meditation or helping you being hyped for a talk. What kind of music do you listen to, or what kind of music do you like to meditate with, I guess?
Yeah, great question. So I have, you know, on my Spotify different playlists. There are times where I feel like listening to some like gangster stuff, like But in the morning time, I listen to meditation. Like I'll talk about the morning ritual later.
Yes.
But yeah. So I listen to, like, it's very like soothing, like grounding music, because one of the things I do to nurture my soul is meditate. And so I use those sounds or use that music to ground my energy, to tune into my intuition and to connect with God. And so when I'm in those kinds of, or connected to those kinds of sounds, I'm aligned with what my ultimate calling is. I love how you brought up the word calling. It could be a later conversation, but it allows me to clear my mind. And then after that, I could listen to some like, you know, Christian music, and then my workouts, it gets like crazy, you know, kind of rap. But music in itself is a guiding force that allows me to move in the direction that I feel. Because not every day I feel like listening to rap. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm enough of this. Let me listen to some like meditation. And then there are times where I'm listening to meditation so much, I'm like, let me listen to some Lil Wayne or Eminem, you know. But you know, one thing to point out about music is think of, you know, music as a soundtrack for your life. What, you know, when you watch those movies or TV shows or whatever that has those empowering, you know, sounds or music like Rocky or whatever movie that lifts you up or gets you encouraged, you know, play those kinds of sounds, and that in itself will get you out of your funk when you feel unmotivated.
Yeah, I think that's you know, that's really true, because it depends on what mood you want to put yourself into. I know that when, you know, Nick, my husband, when he used to play basketball and we go to the game, it's like all the kids, I had to be the one like, guys, be quiet, dad's going in the zone. And it's just like this like bang, bang, bang music. And I'm like, you know, like just let it be. But you know, with me, of course, I love meditation. I love like jazz. I like calming, you know. There's probably these moments that I would need that kind of, you know, hardcore, not unless we're, you know, hanging out in the club, you know. But of course, you know, with the kids, it's like I try to, especially now my son, you know, one of my sons is he plays the guitar, the bass, and he just plays like nonstop. Who's that singer that Jack Johnson, like that's the type of mood. So it's just perfect, especially right now. You know, we really want to go to the beach, but okay, just play your music. And think about it. But yeah, so
I want to. Can I add something to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
And so there are times when I'm kind of like you, when I'm in this meditation state, like in the other room, Jen's listening to her like NWA, you know, Ice Cube. And she'll get super gangster. And even when I'm in the Zen mode, she'll be like, what? And again, different people have their different modes at different times. So, you know, you listen to what you feel will serve your soul.
So let's talk about your morning ritual. Share with us. What do you do when you wake up in the morning? First thing you do.
Okay, great question. Before I get into that, why do I do my morning ritual? It's exactly what the title of your show is. What is it?
In Love with Me.
Well, you gotta get, and that's the reason for my morning ritual is to return back to the love for myself, because I'm constantly giving and projecting love to others that I forget to love myself. And so I do it to ground my energy and to just align. Boom, first thing that I'll do in the morning. So it's several things, and then I could share tips. The first thing is I'll read for 20 minutes, something positive, something uplifting. My goal is to read 24 books a year, right? $2 a month, right? For others, it may not be a book. It could be an article like on business, spiritual, or, you know, something empowering. After that, I will meditate. I'll meditate for 10 to 20 minutes. And so like now I'm like really getting grounded. And so one thing to point out with meditation is there's a saying that says, when you're praying, you're talking to God. When you meditate, God is talking to you, right? And so it's listening to God and saying, God, what do you want me to, I ask God, like, you know, how can I share? What would you like for me to share with the world today? You know, I check in with, you know, guidance, so forth and so on. And so after that, I'll write in my gratitude journal. I'll write down 10 things I'm grateful for. And then I'll write a letter to God. And then affirmations. I am amazing. I am beautiful. I'm so and so. I don't know if I have my thing. Okay. I have my gratitude journal with me right now.
We all need
Want
one,
to hear
guy.
one of my want to hear one of my here want to hear one of my affirmations?
For sure. Please share.
Okay, it says I will. So I have it like on index card, and I have a lot. I have a lot of index cards. Blah, so it's a lot. So affirmations, and it's again to ground your mind, to motivate, re-inspire your mind to get back on track. So here's one of my affirmations. I will my own destiny. I believe in me. I smile at obstacles. I fulfill my resolutions powerfully. My strength is great. I stick to it easily and naturally. My will moves mountains. I focus and give it my all. My decisions are strong. I do it with all my heart. That's one of them. So I'll read a few of those, and then I'll review my goals, my weekly, monthly, yearly goals.
Yeah.
And then visualize. I have a vision board, and I'll look over that, and then I'll go work out, something physical, something to get my body moving.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. So that in itself will take about an hour. Now, some people go, Romeo, I want to do all that, but I don't have an hour. I don't, I don't have the patience to do that. And so it might be 3 of those things. You could do 3 things in like 10 minutes, like just read one line of affirmation, like in a gratitude list, and read maybe a quick article. One other suggestion when it comes to morning ritual, one of my other buddies, he's saying like, I'm doing well in my business, but I feel like I feel off with my mornings. And I said, what's important to you? And then we called it the 4 G's.
Yeah.
It's 4. He said, so we figured it out. It was goals, gratitude, gym, and God. So those were like his 4 things, and he was able to, do that. So at the end of the day, no matter what you choose as a morning ritual, I highly suggest doing something that will serve your soul before you serve the rest of the world.
Yeah, you have to, otherwise you're just lost. Like, it's like those guides that you gave is such a powerful tool to have, and having it done in the morning, first thing, it really helps your day, right? I know when I learned from you and other life coaches, even other speakers, they all have one thing in common, is that they have a habit. They have a morning habit, and it's something that I always apply to mine. And I know that I'll have a closer, and you'll hear it later. But basically, it's sometimes tough, right? When you try to egg people on or keep telling them what to do, and sometimes they just kind of follow you when you do it, when you do the actions. And then all of a sudden you just see the change. Right. Like with me, with my kids, like, I nag them, and I try every different language, but then if I just keep doing it, all of a sudden I see them reading the Bible app. I see them reading a book, and I was like, yes. So, that's I guess the rewarding part of it. So I asked you, what is the most rewarding part of your job?
The first thing that comes to mind, there are a lot of things that are very rewarding. When I see them inspired to live out their greatness. Let me take that another step further. Not just be inspired, but when they are taking action on it. And that's, let me go deeper. When they are fulfilled, and when they know they're on purpose, when they are doing things that bring them joy. Yes, there'll be off days and it sucks and I'm tired and I feel unmotivated. But when they're really, what's most rewarding is when I'm seeing them live out their greatness, and when it's creating a ripple effect with their family, with their friends, with their clients. Now it's think of it like this. Think of it as a seed. I plant one seed, and that person, let's just say that person, they're watering it, and so they're flourishing, and they're planting other seeds, and those people are planting other seeds. So it becomes this big harvest of just love and joy based on the seed that I planted. But it's not the seed that I just planted. It's the many seeds that were planted to me by the others. So keeping the water flowing, if you will, keeping the water, keeping the growth flowing. And so being able to see people shine and live out their purpose oh, that brings me,
Mm-hmm.
that's very rewarding, even if it's just for a moment.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they'll have their seasons and that's okay. But if there's just that moment where they saw something possible within themselves,
Yeah.
that makes me go, okay, I'm on purpose, and I see that they could see what's possible for their purpose.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you become somewhat of a guide. You become like a life coach to many people. How do you overcome, let's say, okay, there, as human, again, we sometimes may or may not absorb people's stories, or the aura that they're pouring onto us. How do you, I guess, avoid from absorbing that, or how do you maintain the balance so that you can still be the positive light for that person?
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying, are you asking like when say if their energy or aura is like kind of like dark, or it's kind of
Yes,
negative,
yes.
but how do you project that? Like, so think, I love how you use that metaphor of lights. So
Yeah.
when there is that dark, and when there's that like kind of energy,
Hmm.
you know that you are the light. You
Right.
are the light. Now, what's important, depending on the environment, how much light you project and how much time you spend using that light, because
Hmm.
you could be projecting all this light to them, but they're like, no, 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 no. Here, I'm giving you light. No, 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 no. There becomes a point where it may
Yeah.
not be you to serve that light, but you can, give them another resource. Or you show
Hmm.
them other ways that they can receive their light. But all in all, I myself, again, comes back to the morning ritual,
Yeah.
is to really ground my energy, to protect my energy, and to just be coming from a place of service and love, and being being the light, and meeting them where they're at. Because
Hmm.
I might say all these different things, but they won't get in. It's just gibberish to them.
Yeah.
And it's asking, instead of saying giving all this stuff, it's
Hmm.
asking them and allowing them to go, can I step out of here? Like,
Hmm.
well, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid. And by
Hmm.
using your light and your aura, you just simply say, what is it that you want? I'm not here. There's no judgment. I'm not, I'm here. I'm very open. And once you
Hmm.
meet them eye to eye, now it's allowing them to come out of their shell. And there, again, so many different angles and ways to approach this. But if
Hmm.
you just even simply just give that opportunity to just listen and
Yes.
just have them talk, that, and you didn't even do anything to just
Yeah.
say anything to them, that in itself can bring so much joy, or taking a step towards their greatness of seeing what's possible, because the people they've been talking to, or the negativity they've been projecting out, it comes from a habit they've been creating over time. And what's also important to put out there is, it's your inner world, where it's your inner world that creates your outer world.
Yeah.
It's your inner world that creates your outer world. So if this person feels dark, or this person feels like, this person has XYZ energy, but they want help,
Hmm.
notice where their energy is at, see how
Yeah.
you can serve, and again, just be the light for how they want to move forward, whatever they're asking.
Yeah. So yeah, that's great. The great advice. So for, as an international speaker, of course, I guess one of the um, success stories, or I guess for me, I would love to do this, and you have done this, and such an amazing platform, TED Talks, right? To know you, I'm already starstruck. Like, oh my gosh, my friend Romeo was on a TED Talk stage, because it's one of my rituals too. I try to make sure that I watch a talk every day from the TED Talks app or the YouTube, and to just see you there, I was like, oh my gosh, I know him. How did that feel for you? Like when you had a chance to be on that red carpet, that round red carpet, and the way that you
Right.
impacted that audience, it was just so amazing, Romeo. Like, how did that
Thank you.
feel for you?
How did that feel? It was a wow factor.
Mm-hmm.
It brought fulfillment. It reminded me that I was on track. To even backtrack on that, I remember I was in church one day,
Mm-hmm.
and they were showing a video of a mission trip in India. And I was like, something like God just like saying something so strong in my soul that he's like, you got to go to India. I was like, huh? You got, I don't know what that meant. So I immediately hit up one of my friends from the Jack Canfield community and said, that's from India. Her name's Pooja. I said, hey, Pooja, I just got out of church. I don't know what this means, but I got to go to India. I don't know if it's to do a talk, missions trip. She's like, okay, I'll let you know if something comes up. 6 months later, she goes, Romeo, do you want to do a TED talk? I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what this calling was. And so I've envisioned myself doing a TED talk, right? Yeah. So that in itself is a thing. But when I connected and reached out to the people that I knew, and it all from a place of service, it was like, okay, I'm aligned. Now, here's something cool. Now, knowing that there's that opportunity for me to do a talk, what am I going to talk about? Like, okay, here's the opportunity. What do I talk about? Here's the thing that I asked myself, and this is what I want you to think about, because you will speak at a TED Talk one day. I asked myself, if the world stopped what they're doing and listened to me for 18 minutes, what would I say? If the world just like stopped what they're doing and say, let's pay attention to Mafae, what is she gonna tell me, right? Yeah. And I really, obviously there's so much that we could share to the world, but living out your passion and tapping into your imagination was big for me at that time. And so spent a lot of time doing that. And then little do people know, when I first got out there, if you watch it, you're gonna see me go out there and like get the crowd hyped up, right?
Yeah.
But originally, this is what I say. Originally, what I was supposed to say, clap your hands, everybody. If you got what it takes, if you're ready to live your life by design, let me hear you say, oh yeah. So that's what I was supposed to say. If you watch the TED Talk, I was so like, whoa, with the crowd. Like right when I stepped out, I was just like, so what I ended up doing, you can watch it. I go, clap your hands, everybody. And then I'm like, what am I supposed to say next? Holy moly. So I go like this, clap your hands, everybody. Everybody clap your hands. Clap your hands. And then in my head, I'm like, that's not what I'm supposed to be saying. I practiced this so many times. And then I go, everybody say, oh, yeah. So that beginning, like totally made up. I was just like in shock, but the show must go on. You just keep it going. Like nobody's gonna know.
Yeah.
But at the end of it all, being on that red carpet was very, just powerful to me, and to let me know that I'm on track. And it was a way for me to, empower others beyond just me speaking on different stages. It's also a powerful platform. And so whether it be a TED Talk or whether it be, an audience of one person, because I've also done workshops with just one person, it's the same message and the same gift, just the crowd size is different. So when you're constantly, putting yourself out there, opportunities will come. I like to say, especially when it comes to speaking, when, how there's that saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah.
I like to say, when the speaker is ready, the audience will appear. So continue to project that out.
They gave you,
and
they stood up and gave you like a huge cheer, and it was just, I could feel the chills that you were feeling. I was like, wow.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. And then I'm out there and I go, thank you, and I walk off. In my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So are we gonna see you on stage again? Anytime soon?
When they allow the world to open up and see stages again.
We have the online platform, this is the new norm.
100%. So yeah, definitely gonna continue to
So speaking of the quarantine, what have you been doing during this time? Is there anything new? Is there, projects that you are working on? Like I said, like online workshops probably, or talks?
Yeah. So it's funny, like a week before quarantine, I started this meditation series called Your Destiny Decade, how to, live out your destiny in this decade. And so I was a week into it, quarantine hit, and it was a 21-day meditation challenge that I did, and for people to listen to, and I recorded or whatnot. And so for 14 days while in quarantine, I fortunately set myself up to be in this space of meditation. So that was one thing. I recently started this thing called IG Live, Inspiring Greatness Live. I've been coaching like more people on writing books and just bringing people, like, there's people who are, you know, with work, some people are like losing their jobs, and then you got other people that are losing their relationships. There's other people that are like can't handling all this business that they don't know what to do. And so being able to coach specific individuals and organizations has been, there are always opportunities. There are always opportunities when you're just putting yourself out there. And one other thing to say on that is, while you wait for opportunities, create those opportunities.
Yes.
That's one of the things that I'm doing. Returning back to old things that I put off because I was busy, like the Soul Greatness podcast. I recently launched an episode, and so all in all, I've just been in creative mode. I've been returning back to really seeing what is important in my life that I want to do that I've always been putting off. So
yeah, and
that's what it is.
It's the key right now, I guess, is everybody recharging, they're refreshing their lives, their energy, and then you're just restoring things that you had on your to-do list that we always I guess use the excuse you don't have time, but then it's your time.
Right, it is your time. That's why.
It's your time right now.
People always ask like, like, oh, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. Like, well, what is the secret? It's time, and it's time right now. Like, you really have time.
And what's crazy is like, Romeo actually visited the Philippines and he did a talk. And ever since you did that, whenever I procrastinate or whenever I say I'll do that later, I can hear your voice. It's time. All right,
like, my biggest time.
So yeah, going
and
back.
That's another thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and that's another thing to get yourself out of the funk, or just if you feel unmotivated, like what are specific messages or sayings that will bring you, to life again? It's time, or whatever your favorite quote is.
Exactly. Yeah. So most especially, during this challenging time, I know it's tough for people to just start something because they have they feel like there's no hope, or it's going to be a tough thing to get back to normal. So for you, like, let's keep it positive. What would be the first thing that you want to do after this quarantine? Like, what do you miss?
Connecting in person. I've been connecting obviously with people, Zoom, phone calls, whatnot, but just being around friends and family, and being of service. If the opportunity comes up for me to be on stage, that's going to be a thing. But playing with my nephews, I value family a lot. So that's one of my, if not the top value that I have. And so being able to be around them brings me joy. So that's one of the first things, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for people that want to start wanting to be a success coach, an international speaker, what can you advise them that they can start doing now to help them pursue that dream or follow your footsteps? Yeah, right now.
So like right now, like here's the deal. When I say what I'm gonna say, it's gonna rhyme. Don't delay. What I'm about to say, don't delay on this, okay? Because what's important is, and whether it be this interview or somebody else's, like, take inspired action. Because when you're in that inspired state, move within that 24-hour period and make it happen. If it's not like, do it within the hour to get the momentum rolling. And so there's obviously with becoming a speaker or coach, there's a lot of things that come to mind, but one thing is to get a mentor, like a mentor or a coach. Now you go, okay, I can't afford a mentor. I don't know any coaches. Trust me, I guarantee you someone out there, or someone you know knows somebody that knows somebody. In fact, Mafae knows some people. So if you need a life coach, in fact, Mafae coaches. So, connect with individuals who will, that that will help you in that way. And if you can't find, for me, especially at 18, there was no like Filipino like coaches or speakers. So I found a lot of my mentors through books. And so start reading books in that as it relates to your specific field. If you want to become a speaker to entrepreneurs or speakers at, companies, like read some of the different, not just speaker books, but reading biographies of just greatness. I think that's the key thing. So if there's anybody that you look up to or inspired by, whether it be Jay-Z or Beyonce or Jack Canfield or Deepak Chopra, get in that energy. So what's key here is to just tap into the energy, right? And then they'll start planting seeds of what's possible. And then that will get the momentum rolling of, okay, so what do I want? I want to be a speaker. Okay, who are some speakers that I know? Okay, I'm going to list that down. Let me message them to see if I can just pick their brain. Boom, and you have that conversation. One of the main questions is, what is one, two steps you can advise me to take while here in quarantine? And they'll just list some things, and that in itself, you'll see a lot of commonalities. But utilize your network, utilize the people, and if you don't have that network, if you're watching this, Mafae. If you don't know Mafae, reach out to Mafae, because it's about building relationships. That's, I think, the ultimate answer. Right now, what you can do is build relationships. And then you don't have to do that physically, but you could do that obviously virtually. And if you're not a reader, you can obviously listen to audiobooks, there's podcasts, and then videos. Videos are definitely a big thing. So, and those are things that are for free too.
And I think it goes with everything that you want to achieve in life, is that it's really researching on people who have paved the way, just like Romeo. And he did mention, people that are even in the different scenes, like Beyonce and Jay-Z, they're in the music scene. If you want to become a musician or even anything under the sun, you have to just do your research, right? Like me, I do my research all the time, every day. This is the book I read to help me motivate. And let me share a page.
Affirmation.
I mean, guys, this is why he is a #1 best-selling. Okay, it's such easy read. It's not something that is heavy. When for me, look, I can just turn a page. It doesn't have to be like every day you read one by sequence. You can just flip a page and you
open it up. That's exactly it.
Okay, so I just want to share my one. One I like here is, dreams are not wishes to be attained in the near future. They are imagined ideas meant to be lived right now. It says, no, your ideas are needed now. And affirmation is, I say yes to my dreams and choose to live them now. Thank you, Romeo.
Wow, that's good.
That's what I love.
I forgot what I wrote in that. Wow.
So guys,
sharing that.
Get your copy, because it's a guide. Like, for me, it's been amazing, and I am so blessed that he is my friend, and then I got to hear him on stage and read his book, and it's like a it's
a fortune cookie book. That's the way. I look at it.
And plus, Romeo has done it. He's done the research for you. He's done the hours of training for you. These are the people that are willing to share that goodness that they've felt. And, just reading his book, or, hearing his podcast and seeing his social media, that's all, like, right now, it's apart from the book, that's free content for you to just absorb, and he's willing to just share. And these are the type of people that I love to be around with. And I love to hear their stories, because it's just a nonstop learning. And I know that maybe our lines were aligned just because we're in that same understanding of life. And I'm sure, I guess I'll let Romeo share these. You've had challenges. You have challenges, and things that you know, you had your down times that helped you be stronger now, right? Are you willing to share maybe one of those
100%.
times?
Oh yeah.
Because of course
Yeah.
people think maybe, oh, he's not human, he's so perfect. No, guys, there's a reason why we're strong right now.
Far from
Right?
it. Far from it.
Go ahead, Romeo, because these are the stories that I love hearing.
Yeah, so you might have heard it in the TED Talk. So one of the big challenges and one of the stories that I share when I've talked to audiences is when I was in South Carolina. This was back in 2011 when I received a phone call that my dad was sent to the hospital. And, you know, being a Filipino dad, he doesn't go to the hospital. Like, you know, we're tough, we're men. And so when I found out he went to the hospital, I knew it had to be something serious. So I called the hospital. Operator led me to his room, and long story short, I said, "How you feeling, Dad?" And basically, he just didn't feel well, and I heard him crying, and I was just like, my heart dropped, right? And you know, I flew back, you know, the next day or so, and I remember seeing my dad just laying on the hospital bed. He had tubes up his nose, and then I'm like sitting on the side, right? And he's talking to my mom, but I'm just observing the situation, and I'm asking myself, have I done everything in my life that I wanted my dad to see? Is this the end? Am I living out to my full potential? And so all these different thoughts were coming to me, and so it gave me a reality check of life. Fortunately, through prayers and positive energy, you know, and surgery, he ended up getting better. My dad's alive, he's well. But that was a moment that allowed me to see what's number one, important, and number two, to see what I value. And because my dad is also named Romeo, I want to let him, while he's still alive, to see the legacy has projected from his life onto me, so he could witness it as while he's still here. And so part of its time is, you know, don't do it when you can, do it while you can, right? And so losing somebody, like potentially or almost losing somebody in my life, was like a reality check. So I say all that to say, sometimes life will take things out of your life or like shake you up, not because it's supposed to happen or because like, let me mess up your life, but it's there to check in with how you're flowing with life and to stretch you and to grow you and to take you to the next level. And so let me back up, or let me say this: for every mess, there's a message. For every breakdown, there's a breakthrough. For every when something is pulling you away, you're actually being what is it, like a slingshot, right? It's really pulling you back, and when it's released, you're gonna move forward in a brand new way. And so unfortunately, that situation had to happen, but it needed to happen for me to be more intentional of how I wanted to live my life. Because I could have just lived my everyday life and speaking, all that. But now it comes from a bigger purpose. And it was hard, it was difficult. And there have been many other things in my life where I felt like I wanted to quit, or I felt like I wasn't good enough, and am I doing the right thing? And so those seasons do happen. And it's funny, every single December, I don't know, like the past 3 years, every single December towards when it gets close to January 1st, I get in this depression mode. Like, did I do enough? How come I feel like I didn't give enough to the world? And, I get in this state, and it's in my funk, right? And then I realize I got to start new. And so being able to go through those situations are an opportunity to stretch you to the next level. So.
Right. And that's such a great message. We are in that stage of a challenge. And just like what Romeo said, look at it as being hopeful, being pulled back. And, there's a bigger door, or, there is a goal at the end of the rainbow.
For every obstacle, there's an opportunity, right?
Right. So it's just more, of course, we have to pray for the ones that are truly affected, our frontliners, the people that are, that have the virus. Let's just pray for it for healing for the whole world. But at the same time, we pray for ourselves, and we have to take, we have to take this time to really reevaluate on what we're doing with our lives, right? Make it into a positive. Staying home is already helping out. So while we stay home, let's make use of that time. Romeo gave out a lot of tips. Write down your I want, right? And what I need.
Be do have list. Yeah.
Yeah, that. I'll have that all posted on the caption, and I'll also have Romeo's social media handle, so that if ever I know this is a time that he has time to maybe answer more questions to everyone that want to know more about what he does and what he can give you tips on guidance for you all. So before we wrap up, we want to shout out Anne all the way from Bali. Hello, Anne, Spirit 2.
Oh,
She's watching.
Anne. That's a soul-filled individual right there.
Yeah, she'll be on the show also this coming week, so we'll hear from her. Ted Malabay, did I say that right? And then we have people from Australia. Hi, Mom, for watching again. Of course, the beautiful wife of Romeo, Jen. Thanks for watching. MMC students, I hope you learned a lot from Romeo, because he is such an inspiring man. I know he has more projects up and coming, so we'll hear from him again. I'm going to have you on again, Romeo. Can I have that book again? So if you guys didn't see it, this is the key to
right.
So again, Romeo, thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing all your new projects, your posts, or new podcasts coming out. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We will have more episodes of In Love With Me. Thank you. I'll see you again in the next episode. And remember, actions speak louder than words.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's time. It's time.
I wanted to say that so many times earlier, but I was like, I gotta wait.
You're gonna save it at the very end.
And Nick that encouraged me, he goes, "You're gonna have a closer. Everybody has a closer." Well, there you have it.
Yeah, I love it. Good job.
Okay, Romeo. Love ya. Thank you.
Love you. Peace.
Okay, we're off air. Thank you so much.
Yay. Hopefully that was helpful.